Rise. 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 Rise.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the virtual edition of Martinis Masterpieces. My name is Jim Grace. I'm the Executive Director of the Arts and Business Council. The music that you just heard is from Tim Hall. Tim Hall is an activist, poet, musician, and he's also an Arts and Business Council Fellow this year. So thank you, Tim, for your special edition this evening. The thing I love the most about Martinis Masterpieces, what I love about this event, and I look forward to it every year, what I love is the ability to bring the extended Arts and Business Council family together in one place, and the opportunity for people to meet each other, the opportunity to have our guests meet the artists that we get to work with over the course of the year. So tonight we'd like to capture much of the same spirit in this virtual format. You're going to meet our different fellows, you're going to meet our board members, you're going to meet our staff, you're going to have an opportunity to really appreciate the wonderful people and partners we get to collaborate with over the course of the year. The mission of the Arts and Business Council is very simple. We want to support the individual artists that make the work that we love, appreciate, and need, especially during these difficult times. Artists have always been at the forefront of social change and social justice. If we support the individual artists, not just in what they produce, but in creating thriving practices, those artists will be what changes the world. And we firmly believe that. The way in which we fulfill our mission is through 4 major programs. The first of which is Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. Tonight you're going to get a chance to meet Luke Blackadar, the director of the VLA. The second program is Professional Practice. We run over 40 programs a year. We also run 2 separate fellowships a year. One is the Walter Feldman Fellowship. The second is the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship. Candelaria Silva Collins is the director of that program. And we're so happy that we get to work with her over these years. This is her 6th year working with us on this program. The third program is Business on Board. Business on Board has a very simple idea. Strong boards with dedicated professionals make the arts stronger, make individual organizations stronger, and makes the entire arts ecosystem stronger. So we've been running this program for over 15 years. It trains and places business people on cultural nonprofit boards. And to date, I think we've actually trained over 3,000 business people to be on nonprofit boards. Again, the idea is very simple. Strong, dedicated, healthy boards make the arts sector stronger itself. The fourth program is the Creative Campus. The arts is fundamentally struggling with safe, affordable spaces for artists to make the work. The Creative Campus, the idea is it's a cultural CDC. It's a program that will be the real estate arm for the arts. We have a program in Worcester, our first major program, the Creative Hub Worcester program, and you'll have a chance to actually tour the building, meet them, and see the amazing things they're doing in Worcester. I have the pleasure of introducing you to Candelaria Silva Collins. She's the director of the CEF program. Take it away, Candelaria.
Hi, my name is Candelaria Silva Collins. I'm the coordinator of the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship of the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston. I also work as a consultant to connect communities to arts and cultural opportunities and to connect arts and cultural organizations to communities of color in the Greater Boston area. We designed the program after we've selected the fellows, and it's a highly selective and competitive process. We have a retreat in December where all of the finalists are brought together and they learn about the program. They fill out a self-audit about what they want to get out of the program, what they want to get out of their artistic practice. And from that, we develop the monthly themes. So from January to June, we have monthly workshops where the fellows get together and we have certain themes, whether it's legal matters, budgeting issues, how to get an agent, how to set up for a competitive art show. We also have special events. We might take the photographers, for example, to a photography studio of somebody like Lou Jones in East Boston. We have had fellows participate in special opportunities offered from the Museum of Fine Arts or the Society of Arts and Craft, and the Arts and Business Council will pay the entry fee and allow them to participate in events that would have been out of reach for most of the fellows. They're given one-on-one coaching with me where we talk about whatever they want to talk about. They can also get personal coaching with any of the presenters who've done the monthly workshops. We end with a retreat, and we have our big event, which is usually in person, but now virtual, where the artists showcase their work. Each year, the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship includes makers. This year's makers are Brandy Dortch, Lisa Lee, and Aisha Antwar.
I am Brandy Dortch of Brandy Be Creative. I am a visual artist, so this consists for me painting, collaging, doing graphic design, as well as fashion design. I may start off my work initially with an idea of using a certain material or certain colors, or I don't know, just something like an object that I just really want to use. And I'll let my work kind of inform what I do next in the process. And so I may start off a certain way and just have no clue with how it's going to end, and just allow my work to kind of bring me through the process as I experiment with it and have fun with it. And some of the challenges I face as an artist are time, finances, and lack of ideas. The Creative Entrepreneur program really take the time to teach you the business side of art, which I know sometimes as a creative, we're so caught up in our heads that we may always get the creative side, but not necessarily the business side. And so that's something that I'm super grateful for the Creative Entrepreneur program for, because they have really helped me to see kind of both sides of it. It's important to be creative, but it's also important to know your creative business and to really get into it, and to understand your finances as well. And so I'm so excited that I had a chance to be a part of that program.
I'll tell you a story. I went to go sell some clothes my kids grew out of. I made $3, but it was a powerful $3 because that told me, it gave me some information, important information. It told me I can make money. My name is Lisa Lee. I am solopreneur of Artisan Lisa Lee of Boston, also Alab for short. I grew up in the 02119 and 02124 districts. Not necessarily in that order.
Next up.
I was saturated with discipline. Can't catch a break discipline at the Young Lewis School of Fine Arts. But I also got creative inspiration and fire. My artisanship is multifold. It includes making and the selling of fine art jewelry and gifts. I returned back to school after a whole lifetime of being out. I graduated with honors, with a Bachelor of Fine Arts and a resolve to situate myself as a high earner by the work of my hands. See, I'm not that artist who believes that by virtue of being one that I have to starve. That's old school of thought, and I don't subscribe to it.
Hi, my name is Aisha Anwar, and my business is Ajama More. As a self-taught jewelry artist, I want to innovate designs that convey human emotions and my love of the infinite color and texture palette of the world. I use soldering, wire wrapping, and hand knotting techniques in my work. I find inspiration in my surroundings, from the vibrant culture of my home country of Pakistan, the intricate doors of Morocco, to the Alhambra in Spain, and of course, the mix of modern and historical streets of Boston. From waterfall earrings, mid-century modern clay pieces, to geode-inspired bracelets, my work represents my natural inclination for the outdoors and my love for the places I have been blessed to visit. Jewelry to me is a means to represent one's internal beauty, confidence, personality, and it's an expression of one's individuality, and I hope to inspire my jewelry wearers to find their internal selves in my jewelry. As an artist, I was inspired by my mom. Growing up in Pakistan, I would watch her design custom clothing for us, and this instilled in me early on a deep love for expressing my own creativity. Some challenges I have faced as an artist were understanding the logistics of running a small business, building a brand, and small business legalities. The Creative Entrepreneur Program has really helped me understand and overcome these challenges. I'm fortunate enough to have found mentors that provided me with valuable resources to grow as an artist. Thank you.
The Creative Campus program is our newest and most ambitious program to date. Our first major endeavor within the Creative Campus Initiative is the purchase of a decommissioned Boys and Girls Club in Worcester, Massachusetts, in partnership with the Creative Hub Worcester team. And it's my pleasure to introduce you to Laura and Stacy from Creative Hub. Take it away, Laura and Stacy.
Thanks, Jim. I'm Laura Murata.
And I'm Stacy Lord, and we're co-founders of Creative Hub Worcester. Creative Hub Worcester was based on the voice of the community for the community. We believe that art heals, art matters, and art changes lives.
The Arts and Business Council has been absolutely pivotal to the development of Creative Hub and our future Community Arts Center in Worcester. We want to give a huge thank you to each and every one of you watching, and we hope that you will make a donation tonight.
The work of the Arts and Business Council is vital and truly makes a difference. Creative Hub is proof of that. I know what the arts did for me as a child and how it helped me become successful, and I just wanted to bring that joy and that passion back to other youth and adults as well, but mostly the youth, and let them experience what the arts and how powerful they can be.
I've seen the city evolve into a totally new, inspired, urban environment that is embracing artists of all likes and trying to find vehicles to help support them to make art everywhere.
Art is that place where kids learn that it's okay to fail, and it's okay to start over, and it's okay to make mistakes, and every day you have to come back and try it again until you're successful in your own way.
The more that we can bring people together to communicate through art, the richer our communities are.
A multi-use arts center that is accessible to all community members through things like free community outreach programs, affordable workshops, and the idea of a visual arts, fine arts makerspace, which is not something that we have here in the street.
It's an ecosystem. We're creating an ecosystem of creatives, and that exposure between those who are the creatives building and creating in the space, and those who come to learn about it, and then those who are coming for the events, like Laura said.
When you rent a space in a place like this, you're really sending a message, and the message is pretty darn strong, and it says this is not a hobby. This is not something I do to kill time with. This is not just keeping myself entertained. This is a serious enterprise. I intend to make a contribution to the artistic community in which I live.
The City of Worcester has wonderful foundation in the arts and culture between all the organizations that already exist. And this is a way to keep that going long term. It's entry level, beginning level for a lot of the artists coming in, performers coming in, and it's a great, as we say, pipeline to the other organizations.
That this neighborhood is going to become very much livelier, much more activity going on, and a much stronger focus on the arts, not just among people like me who are artists, but people who live in the neighborhood, who don't think of themselves as artists, but are looking at what's going on and beginning to get involved in their own ways.
I think it's great. They're going to save the building and use it for a arts studio. People can come and do art, and the building's being saved.
Laura and Stacy are just the right people because they're innovators, they're practicing artists themselves, and they know that arts work, and that arts matter, and that arts change lives.
Thanks, Laura and Stacy. My name's Sean Newth. I'm the board chair for the Arts and Business Council of Greater Boston. These are unprecedented times for the arts. I really want to thank our wonderful board and our staff for their significant efforts in leading us through these times. I also want to thank our key sponsors for this evening that have made it possible. So Mass Mutual, Cross Country Consulting, and Capgemini. You play a critical role in keeping the arts alive in Greater Boston. We hope you'll donate today to our VLA Relief Fund. Now, it's my pleasure to introduce to you poet and musician and one of our 2020 Creative Entrepreneur Fellows, Tim Hall.
I remember waiting anxiously for my 4th grade music teacher to call on me and ask the question I had been preparing for all week. What instrument would you like to play? And proudly, I said the saxophone. Well, that was after the drums had already been taken, but still. I knew the sax was a good choice because my dad loved jazz and I wanted to make him proud, see. Music set the mood in my house. Brand new heavies coupled with the smell of eggs and bacon meant I was doing yard work that morning. Kirk Whalum and oatmeal's sweet scent meant I can get an extra hour of sleep and my dad was studying his Bible. The smoky smell of hickory, Earth, Wind & Fire's September, and cocky laughter meant I was eating barbecue that day. Ooh, this tastes good, was my cue to run upstairs for a fresh sampling of his creamy mac and cheese right out of the oven. Some good music, a smile on my face, and some food in my stomach was his saving grace. It was his way of showing me why I should be proud of my name, that life is about love and faith, that my word is the most important commitment I could ever make. And if I can get a woman to smile with some creamy mac and cheese, then I can share the same beautiful moment with my kids someday. I remember the long drives down I-75 to Savannah. Mom and little brother passed out in the back seat, ranting about his glory days, how he had this huge collection of albums and dabbled on the trombone. I learned about my past on these trips, that music was a time machine shaping the way we viewed the world, our tour guide in a lifelong escapade. I learned that music was the muse of my birth, with pockets of soul and rhythm plastered together in brick-sized sound bites. We listened to Miles, Coltrane and Quincy, blues and fusion, hip-hop and blackness. My dad used music to open my eyes to a life I was meant to live. I gained the courage to be the me I was most afraid of, be the voice I never thought I had, be the salvation I sometimes forgot to pray about, be a beautifully scored masterpiece etched into the memory banks of everyone that I would meet. Who would have thought? This nervous 4th grader with a heart to make his father proud would turn into this man, full of love and faith, with a commitment as strong as his word and the ability to cook a smile on that special woman's face. My dad, he did.
Hello, everyone. This is Tim Hall. I am a musician, educator, and entrepreneur residing here in Boston, Massachusetts, originally from Detroit, Michigan. I am an assistant professor at Berklee College of Music in our professional music department. co-owner of Hipstery, which is a digital media production company dedicated to centering marginalized identities in media, through music and film, and poet and session musician. A lot of my work fuses spoken word and live music, catering to neo soul, R&B, and hip hop. A lot of my work stems from my lived experiences as a Black man growing up in America, being somebody who's seen a number of different environments and have had to adapt to the different places that I've lived. I started playing at a really young age. I was gigging and making money in high school, and have continued that passion into my current career as a full-time musician and artist. So I'm very, very thankful for that and appreciative of the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship for being a very important support system as I continue to develop and step into myself as an artist. In 2020, I made the decision to leave a full-time position and transition to teaching part-time, and focusing more energy and time on my artistry, performing, producing, building out my company Hipstery with my brother Cliff Notes. And it's been such a wild journey for 2020 to make that kind of decision. But truly, the Creative Entrepreneurs Fellowship was there and has given me so many tools to dive into and individuals to brainstorm with, in a community and cohort of other artists who are navigating very similar things to me. It's such a beautiful program, and huge shout out to Candelaria for being my guide throughout the whole experience. Thank you.
Your support tonight will directly go to the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. The VLA has played an incredibly important role in protecting the rights of both individual artists and arts organizations. And unfortunately, we're just beginning to see the effects of COVID-19 on the arts sector. We expect that the crisis for the arts sector is only going to get more dire. Your support tonight will directly impact our ability to serve individual artists and small to mid-sized arts organizations in response to COVID-19. So thank you again for joining us tonight. Your support matters. Your support will support the individual artists that we get to work with.
About 70% of the Creative Entrepreneur Fellows keep in touch with us. They are part of the family. I will have fellows regularly write me and say, can you share this opportunity with the other fellows in the classes? Many of them have used the services of one of the programs that the Arts and Business Council runs, which is the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts. Everything from having people look over a contract to make sure that it benefits them, which VLA does very well. People have also gone for grants or need fiscal sponsorship, and they'll come to the Arts and Business Council for that. Once you get into the program, you are forever a part of the program unless you tell us to leave you alone. And even then, if it's a really great opportunity, I will say, I know you said leave you alone. We've had nobody say that, but we'll still share those opportunities with them. This year's Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship, as always, includes painters. This year we have two great women painters. They're Laura Palmer-Edwards and Chanel Thurville.
Hi, my name is Laura Palmer-Edwards. My company name is Living Color Arts Studio. I work in a variety of mediums. I'm a mixed media artist and a collage artist in particular. I love vivid color, the process of creating and experimentation. It's one of my favorite things. Playing with new materials, playing with new concepts. Lately, during this pandemic, my work has turned to the vivid. So much of what we're seeing has been dark and bleak. So I've just introduced myself to a new medium called alcohol inks. And they're the most vivid, wonderful, creative, spontaneous art-making experience that I've had in a long time, and I'm just loving it. Some of the challenges that I faced as an artist is just being aware of opportunities that are available. The program, the Creative Art Entrepreneur Program, has certainly filled that ticket. Candelaria and the whole team know numerous ways to connect an artist at various levels in their career to opportunities, and that's been a blessing and just a great resource. And to know that that will continue as we are alumni of the program is even more fulfilling, because the community just gets larger and the resources and the expertise that is available to us through the Entrepreneur Program continues. And so I'm very grateful for that.
Hi, my name is Chanel Thurville, and I'm a Haitian American artist and educator. My work primarily takes the form of installations, large-scale portraits like the one behind me, public art, and what's called social practice, which is essentially engaging communities in the process and products produced through artwork by having them reflect on culture, history, and existential questions. I was really inspired to jump into the art space primarily because I was hungry to see artworks that reflected me and my community. It was rare to find representations of Black people or Haitian American people in spaces that I found myself in as a child, as a high schooler. And when I merged into adulthood and landed in the education space, I found that I still gravitated towards not only helping students create their work, but wanting to produce my own as a way to disrupt some of the overarching isms of systematic oppression that are prevalent in our country, in addition to building the empathy muscles that we need in order to love through our differences and really be accepting of ourselves and each other. I feel like the Arts and Business Council's Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship has really been a strong foundation for me to meet with a financial advisor and ask them questions, to have all these seminars of, okay, here's how you should calculate what your fee should be. Here's what you should be thinking about in terms of insurance. Here's what you should be thinking about in terms of savings. All of those lessons have just been so incredibly useful, incredibly helpful, and they've laid the foundation for me to continue to soar as a creative entrepreneur.
Hi everyone, I'm Luke Blackadar, the director of the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts of Massachusetts. And while the arts enrich our culture and our communities and ourselves, we still find that many professional working artists and creators are still facing hurdles and barriers to justice and equality. The mission of the Volunteer Lawyers for the Arts of Massachusetts is to break down those barriers and those hurdles. And we do that by providing educational resources and by providing direct legal services that are affordable and free, either through our office or through our panel of volunteer attorneys. In response to the coronavirus pandemic, we've increased the scope and capacity of our legal services offerings. We've created new COVID-19 responsive educational materials, both written and video. We've created a new one-to-one technical assistance program for artists and arts organizations seeking assistance navigating the variety of state, local, and federal pandemic aid systems. We've also created a dedicated volunteer attorney panel committed to helping artists and arts organizations manage new coronavirus-related legal challenges. So I'd like to take this opportunity to thank our law firm partners who really stepped up and showed leadership in representing and serving our constituents during this unfathomably challenging time. Brown Rudnick, Cooley, Dwayne Morris, Holland and Knight, Mintz-Levin, McDermott, Will and Emery, Morgan Lewis, Proskauer, and Sullivan and Worcester, we can't thank you enough for your dedication, your patience, and your commitment and service to the arts during this extremely challenging time. This year, it's my pleasure to award our 2020 Robert B. Fraser Excellence in Pro Bono Award to attorney Robert Chow of Burns & Levinson for his outstanding work serving the record company. And now I'd like to turn it over to Matthew MacArthur, the executive director of the record company, to talk a little bit more about Robert's pivotal role in making their Boston studio recording space a reality.
asleep. It doesn't matter where you've been, as long as it was deep, yeah. You always knew you very well. Looks so fancy, I can't tell. I don't want you hanging out and talking in your sleep.
My name is Matt MacArthur. I'm the founder and executive director of The Record Co. We're here in what is about to be Studio B at the brand new community music workspace we're building in Boston. It's taken so much time and energy, so many people, so much love and generosity to get us to this point. And I'm so excited to be here tonight to celebrate one person who has just given so much to this project, and that's Robert Chow of Burns & Levinson. Robert, thank you so much for all the early mornings and the late nights. We even closed the New Markets tax credit together over the holidays in 6 weeks. You've done just about everything I could imagine to help this project get off the ground and help make it successful. And when these 20 rooms are full of thousands of music makers expressing themselves and achieving their creative ambitions, they will have you to thank. So without any further ado, I am pleased and honored for the opportunity. Thank you to the Arts and Business Council for this opportunity to present the Robert B. Fraser Excellence in Pro Bono Award to Mr. Robert Chow.
Hey, thank you, Matt, to you and the rest of the team at the Record Company and the VLA and the Arts and Business Council for selecting me for this award. It's a true honor, and thank you. But really, the true honor is to have been able to work with the Record Company for so long, to help make Boston a great community for musicians, and I'm really appreciative of that opportunity. Thank you.
This year's Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship includes 3 photographers and videographers. They showcase particularly social justice activities in and around the greater Boston area. Let's welcome Colgan Johnson, Maria Cervelon, and Stephanie Houghton.
My name is Colgan Bernard Johnson. I'm a multimedia artist out of Dorchester, Massachusetts, writer, photographer, videographer, rapper every once in a while, and the owner of 1981 & Co. I'm super grateful this year for this opportunity to be a Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship. It's just been amazing. It's really opened my eyes to a number of opportunities, but it's also strengthened my conviction in how many good things there are out there. Like, I know we're in difficult times this year especially, but there really are some amazing things going on, as well as some really talented individuals in Boston and around the globe, honestly. I decided to become an artist because I just enjoy making things. I'm a naturally active person, curious soul. I love to talk to people and collaborate, but I just have to tinker. Like, my mind just runs on things. I get images and visuals and words. I am an artist. Like, I don't even know any other route besides artist and teacher. And I just want to say thank you again to everybody on the Greater Boston Arts and Business Council staff, everybody on the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship staff who's helped us this year. It's been tremendous. Thank you for the resources and the time and just your patience. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Maria Cervione, and I am a Boston filmmaker and multimedia artist. As a filmmaker, I work as a writer, director, and producer. In bigger film sets, I work as a production designer and camera operator. As a multimedia artist, I work in video sculpture, installation and projection art, and glitch art. As a filmmaker and multimedia artist, my work dissects, challenges, and creates new identities within race, gender, culture, sexuality, history, trauma, and healing within the American context. What inspires me to create this kind of work is wanting and needing more women and people of color to be properly represented on screen and in art and museum galleries. I hope that folks will continue to support the Creative Entrepreneur Fellowship as it helps artists like me and others to sustain their practice, especially during trying times.
Hi, my name is Stephanie Hooten, and I'm a filmmaker, photographer, and video installation artist based in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm a multidisciplinary artist, and I explore storytelling in social justice and community-led movements. Most of my work is documentation-style videos of events and protests organized by communities in Boston and in New England. I've worked around housing struggle, environmental justice, reproductive justice, women's rights, all of these different struggles through different grassroots initiatives in the city. And I hope that through this documentation, people not only are inspired and curious to act based on what they see, but also just want to learn more about the communities that are doing this work. I also teach, and I am really adamant and passionate about giving these skills and sharing these skills with communities, especially youth. Filmmaking and photography and video installation are all practices that typically require a lot of resources, a lot of equipment. And I think what I do as an educator is try to break down those things into specific fundamentals that can be, created with really basic at-home DIY type of methods, so that really anybody can access them. I've taught classes where students only had like a cell phone and a Chromebook, to classes where students have access to like whole camera equipment sets and get to go out in Cambridge or somewhere in Boston and have access to places that even film producers don't typically have access to. I really didn't anticipate how much administrative work there would be in running a business, like running a calendar, keeping financials, like a budget, and like keeping track of my expenses. So the fellowship really helped me with like learning some really specific things about that and just giving me access to people who know these things. And just also like, networking, meeting other artists who are like doing the same thing and being in a cohort with them for most of the year, like, being in touch with them. Some of us were able to develop like more, in-depth relationships where we were collaborating, and sharing studio space. So those are really great things that came out of the fellowship for me.
Thank you everyone for joining us this evening. It has been a great pleasure to spend this time with you. I'm so happy you had a chance to meet some of the artists that we get to work with. Board members, champions, our partners, thank you to everyone that made this possible. I also wanted to recognize that the staff and the board and all of our partners really rallied with respect to COVID-19. We completely reorganized the programming of the Arts and Business Council in response to it. And the flexibility and the dedication and the passion that all of these people brought to it is greatly appreciated. Also, save the date for next year, June 10th, 2021, at the Exchange in Boston. We will be back live again. And also, before I say goodbye, we know that the arts play an incredibly important role in difficult times. We hope you stay safe, we hope you're healthy, and together we can get through this.
When the day looks impossible, the couch feels comfortable, and sun rays splashing from the bay windows look uneventful. Trust the process. When a conversation with your partner seems daunting, and your feelings eat away at your tongue's ability to produce words, trust the process. When depression is the dust that refuses to be swept from the floor. And all you want is freedom from having to clean up the destructive thoughts that fall. Trust the process. When song doesn't sound as beautiful and melody no longer scales your arms with goosebumps, trust the process. When fear resembles the worn notebook in your book bag, the rarely open Evernote app on your phone, or the twice folded Post-it notes dusting your desk that stare and hover and wait and tire and toggle and get misplaced and are found and still not used. Trust the process. One, you are tired and the couch is still warm from the imprint of your back. The outside taunts you to smile in its direction. Close your beautiful eyes and feel the heat wash your tired away. 2, your feelings matter. Your words hold value. Use them. It is impossible for your partner to know the lining of your mind, heart, or hurt. 3, when the dust settles, you will still be a person. All pumping blood, moving limbs, and processing mind. Press your quaking hand against the valley of your chest, the home where your survival lives, the carrier of your liberation. 4, sound waves need not an ear to be heard, nor a piece of skin to scare. Listen to the silence in your beautiful body and welcome the music in your story. 5, trust the process of your healing. Trust the process of your hope. Trust the process of your deliverance. Trust the process of your mindfulness. Trust the process of your pen.